Okay, I think we are in. Welcome everyone to Storyblok show. We are on Code and Chill, where you see your favorite open source maintainers and developers suffering with code while you chill in your sofa, right? So I'm honored today to have Matias, aka Patak from the Vite core team. Welcome.
Hey, really nice to be here and actually see you again. I said last time we see each other in person in Vue.js Amsterdam, no?
And ViteJS Amsterdam is right. Wow, a long time ago though, at the
That, that
beginning of the
that
year.
yeah, that was a great conference.
That was amazing. Well, we are gonna repeat, right?
Yeah, it will be nice.
It will
I
be
think they
nice, right?
announced it today also that
Yeah,
JS
they
World is
announced it
happening.
recently. Yeah, it's true. Let's see how it goes. Like, that's probably the biggest one. But today, like, we are here because the ViteConf. Like, how excited are you? Like, tell the audience. Like, first of all, like, Patrick is the one of the core maintainers and basically community, let's say, guru, no, but leader, and in Vite. And they're organizing this conference that last year was actually a success.
Yeah, it's like really exciting. Like we announced it 1 month ago, but today I don't know if you saw around in social, but like we announced it the speaker lineup, and that is like the most exciting part. Like actually the conference, that's the important part, no? Like the speakers that made it possible, and it's very exciting. Like we're going to have nice, you have the site there.
Mhm.
So yeah, these are the speakers. I think that you can also go to the landing there if you press in the ViteConf.
Okay.
Yes, there. So like if you go down after a few things that we could discuss later about Vite, you're
Okay.
going to see like a speaker grid that we can see all the faces
Oh,
together.
nice. Okay.
Yeah, so there is a lot of speakers. If you are around in the Vite ecosystem, I think that you may know them all. Like one thing that I love about ViteConf in particular, like that we did it last year, is that most of the speakers are the maintainers that work with us like every day. So
Really.
it is really nice. There is a very interesting community vibe to the conference. So yeah, you are going to see like the maintainers of the main frameworks. Like last
Mhm.
year we did this, that like we invited one from each of the main frameworks using Vite, like from
Like
uh,
Astro,
yeah,
Solid. Yeah.
Astro, SvelteKit, and like Nax. This Daniel Roy is around
And a
there.
row.
Yeah, so like a Brandon Roberts from Analog, now that Angular is also with us. And yeah, like there is like tons of speakers we could like discuss about each a little bit, but really exciting. Now the just for other people, if that you don't know, like, but the conference is happening in October 5 and 6.
Mhm.
And like it's interesting also, like the conference is organized by Stackblitz, it's hosted by Stackblitz for the second year. And also we have like a lot of community partners like Storyblok that help
Storyblok is
us
one.
with, yeah, you do like a great job there, like with like helping all the other projects. I think that the dev rel at the Storybook is awesome. Storyblok is awesome.
No,
um
I couldn't agree more because being part of the DevRel team is super nice to be around in conferences with all the open source maintainers. Like we have the SDK ecosystem, which actually powered by Vite. And
mhm.
that's one of the reasons like this all come together so easily. And also we were like community partners last year and the event was super great. Like we couldn't be happier about that. And something that I personally like about the ViteConf, especially last year, and I think this year is gonna be even better, is that it's impressive how a tool or like a product, okay, like Vite can unite all the different tools, all the different frameworks in just one place. Because we are seeing here, and I like this fact that you guys put like, okay, representing Vite, representing Redwood, Playwright, Analog, um, Chrome, Knox. like all the different Astro, like all the different ecosystems, frameworks out there in the open source community that are using Vite under the hood.
Yeah. It's like one thing that I suggest is like when October 5 happened, that you
Hmm.
go to the Discord. Like what you're going to see there is like that you go like to a /live, and there's going to be a player that already have a Discord that is
Hmm.
pointing to the Discord of ViteLAN. Because this is something that we wanted to do for our conference, is that
Okay.
like invite all the communities, that because all this project has a lot of communities. Like the Vite community is kind of formed by like the intersection of so many other communities. And so like we wanted to do it last year, we did it in the Vite Discord, and this year we are going to do it again. And we have like a main channel where like it is very fast paced. Last year like messages will fly, but like very
Like crazy.
energetic. And then we had like a channel that it was one post, like it was a
Hmm.
forum channel, and we had like one post per talk. So that was like a more quiet space to talk
Okay.
with each of the speakers. So like the talks will be a stream and the speaker will be there. So it is a very nice moment to interact with the community. And that worked very well, because like there was like tons of discussion in this channel, in these spaces. And I think that is one of the most interesting part also of conferences in general, no, like trying to, when doing it online, it's a little bit difficult to emulate that hallway thing, that like that
Yeah.
you bump into each other in the hallway. And that is where like the most interesting discussions happen, and maybe like you know other people, and then new projects start.
New
And
collaborations between,
yeah,
yeah. Hmm.
and the talks are like awesome, but like the conference is both things together. Like it's not just like a video, no. And I
Exactly.
think that like last year I feel that we were able to recreate that, and this year we are going to like go for the same setup that worked so well. And yeah, like it was very interesting last year after the conference, because of some of the talks that presented like the projects that some of the maintainers didn't know, and they started to interact between each other, and like new projects appear. And like I know like a few at least like repos that were created just because of that interaction. So that will be very interesting, and I hope that this year is also like a platform for even more collaboration.
I think you hit a point there, because like one of the things that I always enjoy about, in my case, the Vue community and the open source community in general, is this collaboration thing, right? So I ended up, for example, one time working some features in Elk, the
Mhm.
Mastodon client that you guys did in Nux and so on. And for me, it was a learning experience, because yeah, I have like Anfu checking my PR. Like it was really cool for me, and it's incredibly welcoming. In my case, for example, like I'm a small library author myself,
Mhm.
and having the opportunity to also share it with the community, and especially with Vite. Um, in this case, in the talk that I'm gonna give, uh,
Oh,
for
you're there.
oh, I'm there.
You're there.
Spoiler. No, but I mean, like, I'm really happy today, because I seeing the speaker list is like, okay, it's awesome to have an opportunity to be there and present my project, right? And for a small like libraries, like we are building open source stuff, in this case 3D for Vue, it is a great opportunity and a great shout out. And who knows, like people gets interested, they talk with you, you can create new projects, you can improve the projects. Collaborations, like with the Nux team, for example, last conference that I was with the Nux team, some of the Nux lab team members helped me out with some stuff. So I couldn't say more. Like these after talk hallway kind of talks are always super nice,
Yeah.
and that's where the innovation comes. In most of the cases, like people. At the end, it's people. It's a community.
It's yeah, it's all like built by like, and in the Vite like core team, like we have the opportunity to see that like firsthand, like every day, like, because at the end, like a lot of the PRs that Vite receives is like the Vite, like there are tons of like really really good people working in the Vite team, like I have been these past weeks, for example, like focusing on ViteConf, and like blue and like Safi red, like for example, like
Mm-hmm.
if you are around, you know them, like they have been like working really really well in Bitcore. But like we have a tons of PRs that came from framework authors, like that is amazing, because it is, I don't know, like Rich Harris that will send you a PR, and it's like the perfect issue with the perfect linked PR, and like you, like it feels like I always say that it feels like cheating reviewing a PR like that. uh, but yeah, that's amazing. You should click where in your face there, because you can show your ticket, and people
This
could
is
go
also
to.
something that I found really nice. Not only for the speakers, because in this case these cards are like auto generated. So this is my speaker card, which I'm, to be fair, I'm really proud to represent also the Vue community,
Yeah,
because I
I was trying to decide if I should use the 3JS, the 3JS logo, and I actually checked it out, and I couldn't find like a square logo, because you have like this
the
very
square
beautiful
one
animation like that is. But at the end, I said like we have like Nax, and but we didn't have like one pure view,
view.
and said like no, like it's better if Alvaro will do that. Give me just 1 second that I turn the light on.
Yeah, don't worry, don't worry. Yeah,
Sorry,
I'm not. I'm not gonna lie. I'm pretty happy to represent the Vue community. To be honest, for me, like I cannot believe it. But at the end, Tres is Vue. Like the idea is to bring 3D into the Vue community. So I think it's super nice. Like I would not mind, to be fair. I know
nice.
somebody in the Twitter say like, "Oh, you should put the Tres yes one." It's okay.
Yeah.
Like we don't. It's okay. It's okay.
Next year.
Next year, that we're talking. But I also like it, the fact that you can customize with the customer, like the partners. So you can
Yeah.
create, in our case, we are gonna put it in Twitter in a bit, the Storyblok ticket. So you can customize your ticket if you join to the conference with the technology or the community partner that you like the most. That's engaging.
Yeah. It's something that we also did last year, and again, it's a matter of highlighting that the conference is not about VitCore specifically, like about VitCore, but like more about the projects that are building on top of it.
On top.
Because like this is always how Vite has shown itself. Like if you like follow the Vite Twitter, for example, like most of the content is people building cool stuff with Vite, and like this is a position that Vite Core, like I think that enjoys having, let's say, the project, and the conference is also a representation of that. And yeah, having people like have tickets with the theme of their own communities was something like a play on that, and it has been very very cool. From the Bitcoin account, you can see like all the people sharing their ticket with the different themes, and yeah, it's very nice.
No, I couldn't agree more, because like the recent years I found that the front end community, well, let's say software web community, right, has been always been divided in terms of these framework wars. No, that React is better, no, Vue is better, no, Svelte is better. And having something that unites them all, because actually what we want to do is build cool stuff, enjoy, like build, being able to give people the ability to build their own creativity, their own projects, their own ideas into life. So I love that Vite makes that makes everyone, like from React community, Vue community, Svelte community, you name it, together to use the same tools, to enjoy, to share. I really like that.
Yeah, Yeah, and it is kind of, I think, part of like a general movement. Let's say that like frameworks have been like collaborating. It feels a lot more. Vite is kind of is inscribed into that thing that is like a bigger wave that is happening. But there are like other examples. Also, if you see Volar, for example, that
Hmm.
started in the Vue community also
Hmm.
by Johnson. And Volar was like the dev tools for like the plugin for VS Code, the extension for VS Code,
Yeah.
like give all the support in the IDE for like the Vue single file components and like with proper TypeScript support. Like it was like a big jump in quality of life for Vue developers. And then what happened there is that at one point like Johnson like also like helped by like Evan and like took the idea of like making Volar framework agnostic.
Agnostic. Okay.
And now Volar is like the core, and then you have like Vue language tools, and Astro also adopted Volar. And then like there are talks
I didn't
for
know
like
that.
other frameworks to also do the same. So that is very interesting because it is something that it's really hard to do. Like I don't know, like the how Svelte did it. Like everybody has to do the support for it.
Hmm.
And yeah, like Johnson and the team of Volar have been doing like a lot of really interesting job there. Like like I mentioned that Stackblitz is also helping Volar in that with
Nice.
through supporting Johnson. This is also something that like I think Stackblitz in particular likes a lot to be in this position of like helping this cross framework collaboration. And another very good example now is Nitro.
Okay.
And Nitro is also kind of from the Vue community. The Vue community is having kind of a moment where it spawned tools that like transcend the community. So like, yeah, Nitro. If you go to Nitro or the Yun.js org, this is a like a project from Pio and from the Nax team also. And the idea is like the other day, Anthony Fu sent a tweet that Nitro is kind of the ViteJS for servers, and
Yes.
it's a library like that abstracts deploying servers to anywhere, like to the edge or to like.
To Amazon Web
And
Services. It's actually
yeah,
the server engine of Nux, right?
exactly. You know that like Nax, it's really interesting what they did because like they took a long time to update, but because they break it down in so many little pieces and they abstract a lot of things through the AnJS
And
organization.
yes, organization. Hmm.
Yeah, one amazing example of that is Unplugin, that like Unplugin lets you create a plugin using the Rollup API or based on Rollup API, and it can work in Vite, in Rollup, of course,
Webpack,
and
Rollup.
Webpack, RSPack, and ESBuild, like with some caveats. But now, like if you see all the plugins from Anthony, like are like start with unplugin something because you can like use it for any bundler. That is also like really nice to how it works. And so the Nax team took this approach to make it abstracted over deployments like with Nitro,
Mhm.
abstracted over like build tools, like because you can use Nax and Webpack, for example, without any problem. And
Correct.
it's a different route compared to what Svelte did, for example, that is like Vite only at this point, or
Hmm.
other projects like Astro too. And yeah, so like Nitro, for example, is also really interesting. Apart from Nax, Analog.js, like from
Hmm.
Brandon, like the Angular plus Vite, is
Yes,
uh, is also powered by Nitro right now.
that's
And yeah,
amazing.
I don't want to like name other teams, but like this is something that other teams are also like looking into. Like you should came to ViteConf because in ViteConf there will be like
More
several
talks
news.
about this.
Yeah. I think like Nitro is going to be at least in 3 or 4, like just to give an idea of like
But
how
it's
interesting is the
amazing that
project.
it's doing that for the backend. Because to be fair, I wasn't doing open source until like 2 or 3 years ago. I was basically like coding like a lot of people inside of companies, right? So
Mhm.
basically inner source, and that's it. And I was a little bit afraid of actually putting my code out there to everyone to see and so on. And I started to create stuff, well, in Angular, but I remember with a lot of like love that I started to do 3GS stuff, and everything was in Webpack in that time. Like all the examples for 3GS, 3GS is a library that leverage 3D, like with WebGL in the browser, and everything was with Webpack. And I remember it was the first times with Vite, and I started to migrate all the stuff for using 3GS with Vite, and it was amazing. Like it improved the DX, everything was easy. There was even a plugin to add shaders like GLSL, like let's say assembler for shaders, to the Vite, so you could import them, and everything was so easy. TypeScript was easy. SAS or like any preprocessor was easy in that time, and started creating content. And to be fair, like I can tell you right now, in my YouTube channel, the most ranked videos are about Vite, so, which is kind of cool. Like I started with Vite, so that's why I had this relationship with Vite, because I was really hyped when it launched. Like I really didn't like any other build tools in that time, or I didn't understand it quite well. And Vite helped me to create open source, to like actually start building more stuff and libraries until, for example, 3GS, which is the whole ecosystem is built with Vite. We use VitePress for the docs. We use ViteJS for the tests. Everything with the same configuration. So that, I think that's something that happens to me, but also happens to a lot of other people in the open source. Like they started to do more open source because the Vite ecosystem.
Yeah, it's amazing to think that like 4 years ago there was like nothing, because the
Nothing.
project started, and during the first year it was like very like small, like until V2, like until that
Yeah.
big sprint that Evan did, and like changed some core mechanics that really like make it click. But also Vitesse, for example, like that is 1.5 years that's like the project started, or like a little bit more, let's say. And now it is one of the main drivers of like grow, I would say, because like if you see trends, I think Vite at this point it's like 6.7 million, and like Vitesse is around 2.2 or something like that. Yeah,
It's impressive, like 6
yes.
million
It,
weekly
it, it is
downloads.
is that because this week was like with a holiday, but like
Ah,
you,
okay.
you should see the last week. but yeah, like it's amazing, like for to give context to people about like these numbers, like
Hmm.
Vite crossed Tailwind CSS, like the number of downloads, like just to be like give an idea of how many people are using it, and also a few JS also
Hmm.
like was crossed, that actually is so huge. And Webpack, I think around like Vite should be around 25% now of the usage of Webpack, that it
Where
has a very long tail.
where we can see like data regarding like
npm trends, yeah, npm
npm
trends conf,
trends.
if you,
Okay, here.
that's an option. Oh, good advertisement for Rakshishi. Yeah, so like
Okay, you can compare like different.
not VJS should be,
Okay, only bit. Ah, okay.
yeah.
And now it's doing a comparison between the two of them. Okay,
I
well.
don't know what is the other one, but if you put like 5 years instead of 1 year, you can see the growth. There is
They grow,
downloads in the
right?
past. 5 years.
Oh,
So that is a growth. And
nice.
the going downs are like the holidays. You can see like the programmers going into Christmas and
Yeah, but that's normal. Like, for example, in my YouTube channel, summer is like,
yeah. I like that Webpack has like reached its top, it seems, from the trend. And right now it should be around like 25%. And Vite
okay,
goes about like times in the past year. So like if it repeats, it will cross Webpack. But I don't think
Webpack
like as
eventually.
the project gets bigger, like grow needs to slow down a bit, because if not,
Yeah.
but I would say that maybe in 2 years that is something that now can happen, and it's just like amazing to think.
No, the numbers are amazing. Like, let's also consider that Webpack has a long time in the market, and it was used everywhere. Like,
Yeah,
well, I I,
yeah.
I I found it really interesting the unplugging theme, because talking about extendability of Vite, like Vite has an amazing plugin system. You can basically enhance everything that you do in Vite. It could be your local server. It could be in library mode that you're creating a library and then you create a plugin. That, let's put an example to create the declarations, the TypeScript declarations, right? That's one example of a Vite plugin. Icons, or like importing the GSL and so on. I think it's impressive that now you can use it in Vite, but you can also use it in Webpack, like with the unplugging thing. I think it's a really nice approach.
Yeah, I love that. And yeah, like if you want to show some like cool plugin, if for example if you go to a Vite plugin QR code, is a really nice thing that you can show like what everything that you can do with plugin QR code, I think it's called.
This one.
Yeah, like that.
Okay.
So if you go to
Oh,
the
okay.
yeah, so that you add like the plugin one line, and then you get like this is by missing. Yeah, this is by John, another
Okay.
one of the core team members. And if you add that to your app, it's like when the server starts, you're going to get a QR code, and you can scan it with your phone, and like you can test the app there in your phone.
Oh, I'm actually gonna use it. Wait. So let's share some code, because this is called Code and Chill, and we haven't
Okay.
done any code yet, right? So um, let's first like check this plugin, because I'm really interested in this one. And so let's see something that I was working on. Sorry about the mess.
Ooh.
Um,
No, I wanted to see Thresh.js code too. Like the good thing about like the stuff that you are doing is that what, like for example, like if we want to show how a plugin works, no? Like let's say like code a basic plugin, it's going to be interesting, but like the result is going to be a string in the in the output. But like with
and
you, like you create something that is like floating around, like cubes flying around, and so beautiful.
I
I
mean,
saw that people are
it's,
even creating games now.
yeah, that was crazy. Like, I think I got like the same realization that you guys got when people were using the tool for creating stuff. Like, I never
Mhm.
imagined that anyone would do a game with Tres.js. And this guy Epsilon, he started to contribute to the core. So he's like helping us with the custom render API of Vue, and he managed to solve the dev tools. So it was like quite important, because we had the problem that we break the Vue dev tools, because we were creating a separate custom render that wasn't DOM
Mhm.
based. It was a scene on 3GS, on 3GS. He fixed that, and also later he put it like in the how you call it, like in the Discord channel. He put, "Oh, I made a game with the with the library," and we were like, "No!" That that make my whole year. Like, I'm happy. I don't need no more.
Nice.
No, it's a really nice feeling. But to be fair, like it make as a like library author, For example, I can show you here. I'll leave it. Um, like I use Vite everywhere. So we have the ViteConf for the library itself. This is the core package. And yeah, we have some fancy stuff. We because it's a custom render, we need to tell Vue in the compiler, hey, everything that it comes with tres, like the prefix, ignore it. It's a custom element. Okay. Declarations. So these are all Vite plugins. So you have the Vite configuration here, and then you have all these plugins like the Vue one. We also have one that adds a banner into the bundle to get like the version and stuff.
And
Here
you
we
have
have the
inspect that. I think that you should show inspect. Like that will be really nice to, because I see that this, yeah, the Vite plugin inspect from Anthony Fu. Like I see that is there. So that I think that is like talking about plugins is a really interesting way to see like what you're doing, like and to see how Vite works. Because because you have the Vue plugin here, when you run it in this code, we are going to see for example, the single file component compilation transformation, and that is very good. I don't know if everybody that is hearing us have actually like run the Vite plugin inspect. That would be really cool to show.
I have used it, but in this case with the library mode, we can also inspect it.
Inspect it in what sense?
Because I'm using like I have the build here. So this is like the Vite configuration for building the bundle itself. For the playground, like I have a playground inside using PNPM workspaces, and inside of here I have another ViteConf. So maybe it's here where it should.
Yeah, there. Because for example, it would be nice to see the GLSL transformation that you mentioned. I see the plugin is there.
Yeah.
So we should be able to see how like that is happening.
Let me just then copy and paste. I don't know where I have it in the core one. It should be in the playground actually. So we have it here. Inspect like this. Also for me, for example, the results were really important, like the roll-up options. To be able to like put as an external tree as a pure dependency to not bundle it or Vue use because we use it a lot. So all these things were pretty much straightforward. Like I remember doing that in our build tools. It wasn't that easy to do. Okay, let's go to the playground because I am actually interested, like to show the audience what it looks like the spec one. So I'm gonna do in our playground, and this is gonna run the Vite server on here. And look at here, we have the inspect.
Nice.
I guess I have to come here though, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so
no mother record yet. I think you need to open first the.
I need to open the. Okay.
Yeah, the app. Because as it opens. Yeah.
I think multiple canvas. This one.
Nice. Yes.
Yeah, this is like a playground on how to have different tres canvas with different contexts between each other. So they work independently with a provider context kind of thing. But look at this. So here we have.
If you click on one, for example, if you click on source app there, you can see all the transform stack. Like the first one that you are seeing now is the import analysis one, for example. That this is replacing all your imports. It's rewriting them so the browser can actually like
use them.
Load this, because if you see you have like the one that say like the last one there in Vite 22, it say like a plugin view export, and that cannot be loaded by the browser because like it needs to be a proper path. So like Vite will rewrite that during dev to using this like ID, and this X00 is because you are not seeing it there, but it has like a weird character that is like a /0. That is this like a space that you cannot see, let's say, and it's what a rollup convention for virtual files. So like when you do a virtual file, Yeah. So when Rollup have this convention that if you do like a virtual file, when you resolve it, you can return it directly, but it's
Uh-huh.
good practice to return it with appended at the beginning a /0. And
Okay.
this /0 is a char that you cannot see, let's say when you print
Mm,
it.
okay.
And Rollup uses this for example, to know that it's a virtual module.
A
So
model.
it will not try to do source map, or like there are some things that opt out. But the browser like chokes with it. Like you cannot have a path that has this /0. So Vite has to transform that in this like underscore x00 underscore
So they
underscore.
can use it.
Yeah. And they are this kind of like gymnastic that Vite needs to do to actually something that is meant to be like for Node, let's say, like like in
Mm-hmm.
Rollup. So the path are like file system path. So
Mm-hmm.
you need to give it to the browser in a way that the browser can like ask you back
Yeah.
these things to the server, and it can know what file to load. And it should be like in there the Vite view. This
Mm-hmm.
that the transform stack is all the plugins as they are applied. So here you have like the template there, and this is the transformation
For
that
this, we see.
the
Mm-hmm.
compiler does to actually like give the code that the browsers run. Like it's because again the browser doesn't know view. This is kind
Like,
of the magic of it, that is you stop thinking about it, and it make it look as if the browser now understand .view,
yeah. Yeah.
because you just don't think it anymore. But behind the scene is like when the browser asks for a .view file, then it is kind of like a smart server, and Vite
Mm-hmm.
will transform it. Like all the plugins transform hook will be called one after the
Mm-hmm.
other, and when the Vite plugin view sees that there is a view file, then it will like transform it, and the next plugins will already see JavaScript instead of
Exactly.
seeing this like SF, single file component that has template and script and styles that like other tools will not understand.
I think it's similar with the dot astro dot vel, like this
Yeah.
specific syntax that has different parts of blocks. I know that in some plugins, for example, you can get what the template has or what the markdown part has, and so on. And you can create your own custom blocks in between a single file component, like a documentation tag, right? And then use it as a markdown. But I really like this. Let me see one that is more complex. Let's check the actual canvas view. Lol. Everything is here. It's really nice. It's really nice to understand how things work. To be fair, like it
Yeah.
gives you a nice overview.
Yeah, and
Here's
if you go
the
to that
program.
like a
Mhm.
GLS file, like how is, I don't know the name, like GSL, like do you have one around? Maybe like we can see how
In
it is
this
transformed.
one, I don't know if I have in
Yeah,
the local
or if
host.
not, at least like the TypeScript file, like you can see how it like is
Okay.
ES build is actually converting that ES. At one point, like the ES build there, you see that this is an internal plugin. Like all the Vite colon something are internal plugins
Uh-huh.
for Vite. So like
Okay.
ViteJS build at one point is going to say, oh, this is a TypeScript file. I need to run it
Uh-huh.
through ES build. So I will like generate JS. So like here is like removing the types. I don't know if this particular file has some types, but if you go to a
Yeah,
more
this one is
complex
not the
one,
best example, but this one, for example, no,
yeah, if you
maybe
go to,
use event handler. It's
you
actually
need to go
removing
click,
the first
you
part.
need to click on ES build there, like ViteJS build.
Here.
So
Okay.
yeah, so
Now here
here
you
like
can
it should be like removing the types in a very very fast way, because this is what like ES build does so well.
here this interface is no longer here. Strange.
Mm-hmm.
It's really nice for debugging, like, and for actually learning purposes.
Yeah. I really like it, and I think that it's not that known. And if you
No.
go like another thing that is interesting, if you go
Mhm.
to I don't see the icon, but maybe it's the second on the top.
This is source map.
No, that's the source map, and like because there should be like an icon to show all the modules together. Like, or maybe you
Ah,
have to, you have to go away from here, like go back, and there you have it instead of the list.
this
Yes,
one,
that. Yeah, so here you can see like how all the modules are related between each other and
which
what
is
is
really
importing
nice.
what.
In my case, like, I see that I'm using index a lot because of the folders. So
Yeah.
that doesn't give me a really good sight of what's happening. Everything is indexed.
Something to improve later.
Yeah,
You can
for
you
sure.
can you can create a feature request.
No, but this is amazing because it gives you an idea like visually, especially with notes. It's really interesting, and you have all the colors for the different formats, so that's
Yeah,
nice as well.
and it also have like performance metrics. So if you click the next icon, like you can see
Yeah,
like what are the plugins that are taking more time, and like this is also like if you have a bottleneck is during dev, is a good way to see it.
well, for example, for all the playgrounds in the Vite, I use Uno CSS,
Uh-huh.
and I have all the different plugins and so on. Import glove, dynamic import. That's really cool.
It's nice that you mentioned like a project and there is like a 90% chance that that will be made by Anthony Fu, no? Like
I don't know how he does it. Like, honestly, I don't understand how he maintain everything because it takes time. Like, um, open source takes time.
yeah.
Um, like even for us, like the SDKs, for example, inside Storyblok, we maintain it as dev roles. We are the ones maintaining with the community. It takes a
Mhm.
lot of time, like to
Yeah.
have everything properly done, that it is working with the latest release dependencies. Like
Yeah, and
dependency
the problem that Anthony has is that it's he sees something is taking time, he will probably do another project to fix it. So
to
like
fix it, right?
you have like I don't know, like he has a very good GitHub notifications enhancer, like that is like a user script that runs
Okay,
and it makes it like GitHub a lot better, or these kind of things that he's always tinkering to improve.
to
You should
improve.
go to ViteConf because like Anthony Fu is going to do a talk and it may be related to some of this stuff that we are talking. And there may be
Nice.
a panel about also the community and contribution that like you should also be tuning in.
So make sure you go to the ViteConf. It's free. Okay, that's the absolute best part, and you can learn from the authors themselves of all the ecosystem of tools, which is really nice. Like,
Yeah.
go. Here we have the Vite plugin GLC here, yeah, as a
Nice.
try. Hmm.
So
But
somewhere you are using it.
yeah, for the shader, but I didn't have an example of having a shader inside.
Hmm.
And it's cool that we're showing threads because like in the SDKs, we are using the leaf mode for Vite, and the playground is done. And Cypress is using the Vite under the hood. But it's not that complex. Like we are just building a bundle.
Yeah. Yeah.
Here, I was doing some experiments with Joaquin
Uh-huh.
from the Vites team. If you don't know him, he's one of the let's say like he does a lot of features and fixing bugs in all the Anfu ecosystem and Vite and Vitest, and
He's
he was
everywhere.
helping me. It's amazing. Like I had one call with him, and his mind went super fast. That I couldn't keep up with all the features that he was describing, because we were trying to do an inspect mode, like a bit plugin, to be
Hmm.
able to inspect the like the scene. Because one of the problems that we have in Tres is that we have a canvas. So even if we are using the view components to render objects inside, there is not really nice way to debug them to see. So right now in the view dev tools, you will have like a tree that say is seen with the children's. It has a camera, it has an object, and you can see it there. But we wanted to do like inspect mode where you can actually see the scene graph of the whole thing. And we were doing a plugin, but it was quite tough. Like it wasn't that easy to do. But similar to CSS inspect, let's say the inspector of CSS.
Nice.
Actually, let me find CSS inspector. It gives you like an overview of everything that is used inside of when you're using CSS, right? So yeah, like to be fair,
That's another, like, going back to the other topic, but like Next Dev tools that Anthony was doing, that's another good example that will probably trickle down. There was already a project from West, I think it's called West Plans or something like that.
yes, for the Vite dev tools, right?
Yes, actually he created like the view, like based on the Next Dev tools. So he created like a more abstract view tools, and then there was like Mohammed Aslmet, I don't know the handle is something like that. He's also a speaker, like going to talk about Vite's browser mode that is really interesting.
Oh,
and
yeah.
he was actually like doing one step further and saying like, okay, we have like now the Vite dev tools, and I think that this is also an avenue where there is going to be at one point like some more general sharing. This is like the magic of at the end of like all the plugins that we are doing, that it gives a very good API, a very flexible API for maintainers of different frameworks to actually share code together, that it was really difficult to do before. So yeah,
and
so
I like that
this
it's
thing
really sorry
no, go.
that is really focused on the developer experience. Like all these tools make the life of developers easier. Like with these, I have used the Nox one that is available like with the DevTools in the experimental mode, and it gives you a really good insight of everything that you have inside. So it gives me a lot of ideas on how I could use that for threads. Actually, I'm waiting for like the custom panels in this one to be able to add one for threads, and for the Nox one, we actually have one for a Storyblok as well. Like we have
Nice.
a custom tab. Yeah, you can use in DevTools, and you have a tab with the icon of a Storyblok and access the instance of the Storyblok that you're using.
Nice.
So you see, it's endless. Like the possibilities with this kind of stuff is endless.
Yeah, talking about Joaquin, and like he also have been coding a lot in Vite plugin PWA. For example, that is another really interesting project about like sharing between different frameworks, like how to do a PWA. That there is like a lot to configure, and this plugin, you put it there. If you want to see it used in a like again, that you can go to Elk and like see it working.
It's the one that Elk uses to get to PWA. Okay.
Yeah. Like one of the things that Elk was really interesting was that a lot of the contributors to the project were the maintainers of each of the plugins, and so they came, and each of them like made a PR to to actually add them, and later on they discover like tons of issues because it was like a real app with tons of users. And it's something that is not that common to have an open source application like that. So it actually helped it a lot to like polish, let's say, a lot of these plugins.
Oh, look at who we have in the chat. We were talking about you. we were talking about all the cool stuff and all the different tools that are in the ecosystem, and of course how we cannot comment about Vites and the Vite plugin for PWA. Actually, I haven't used it yet. I will. Like there are so many things that I want to try right now. I'm doing a lot of like 3D stuff at the moment. But it's amazing what you guys have done. Also, like for example, the documentation here. This is VitePress. So it's using Vite under the hood. All the documentation also in 3CS, everything is BytePress. Like it's using Vite under the hood.
Shout out to VitePress there, because it really made like all the ecosystem look so good. Like it's so professional. Like all the libraries are so nice, and that's a nice effect. One thing that is interesting about about ViteCore is that when you are like contributing to ViteCore is being tested by Vitest. But Vitest is built using the Vite core that you are doing. That is kind of like interesting, because like the floor is moving under you, no? Because if you do something that will break the test tool that you're going to use to test. But anyways, it's a very good way to like dog food. So like the Vitest is being used for testing, and then the documentation is being done by VitePress. But also when you build the documentation, it is using the Vite of that you are like in the main, So you're also cool break when you are doing things. There are some PR, for example, like maybe it will break the documentation. So we have that very like two tools, VitePress and Vitest, right inside like doing like dog fooding, and that is like very, very interesting.
Well, it has to be tough. Like well, it's a good playground, let's say, or like test environment to test, but it has to be hard.
Yeah, but like normally it doesn't break. Like it's like it's I don't know, like we see all the fails in the like in the test itself. One thing that before we finish, like I think that it will be really nice to show, because it's like kind of like show the ecosystem too. So CI is a tool, like the Dominic led the creation, and it's allow, like if you go to Vite ecosystem CI, you're going to no, maybe like do you have access to the Discord? So if you go to Discord,
I
Discord
do have.
ViteLAN.
Give me a second. ViteLAN. Yes.
Yeah, amazing work by Dominic. So what this tool does is it runs the CIs of the main projects in the ecosystem. I think like 20 CIs. If you go to ecosystem CI there, yes. So like every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, we are going to receive like a notification with the status against Vite main of all the CIs of the project in the ecosystem. And if we see that there is like a red, you are going to see that like, there, for example, Vitest failed for some reason, and you can see what failed. But if you go up, you're going to see that there are some threads like starting to like, for example, Jorn was like creating threads for all the reds, and you can see how he's working with the maintainers of each of these libraries, like saying like, hey, I created a PR for that, or I don't know what is this, why it's failing. But every time that like we release like a minor version or major version, we make sure that this is all green. So it is kind of like when we release, all the ecosystem is already tested and all the regression have been fixed. And this is like a really interesting like cross collaboration tool that other projects now, like Vue, Nux, like there are several other projects that are using like a forked version, let's say, of Vite ecosystem CI, because it's a very good way to work. And also we can run it in PRs. Like we have like a /ecosystem CI command that will run it for that PR. So before even merging it in main, if the PR is a little bit like, I don't know, it's touching too many things, like we can check and say like, okay, this is going to break now. Oh, okay, maybe before merging it, we already check and see if like that breaking is something that we could work out in the PR itself. So it has helped it a ton on how solid Vite is, and in actually pressing the release button without suffering. Because like
for sure.
if the CI of Vite is passing and the CI of all the main project in the ecosystem is passing, is like a lot of like mental peace.
This is quite powerful.
Peace of
Like I
mind.
wasn't aware. I heard about it, but I didn't know actually what was the purpose of it. And now that you explain it, it makes totally sense, especially when there is a lot of people depending on your package.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah. This was day and night of how we develop in Vite. Like the development of Vite is based on like no breaking like the CIs of other projects. Like there is a lot of that in how releases are prepared and how we like take the release process.
Actually, I will write this down because I could totally like Tracy's ecosystem is still really small, so we don't have that. But I liked it. Well, Storyblok SDK's ecosystem, for example, would be amazing to have this.
Yeah. There will be a full talk in ViteConf about this by Dominic.
Only this. Actually, like we haven't talked that much of the hype, and I haven't mentioned the things, especially the things that I have done with Joaquin, with User Queen, because I expect that in the ViteConf there are gonna be talks about it.
Oh, nice. Yeah. And one in particular talk that I really recommend, like all the keynotes first, like there will be like a live keynote by Evan Yu. And then like Stackblitz will do like a keynote too, and then Tom Preston Werner, like the founder of GitHub, will also be there with an interview that is really good. And like don't miss that part. And Evan like also already starting to tease, if you follow him in Twitter, that I cannot say anything, but you don't want to miss the announcements that are going to happen.
He mentioned something about making Vite even greater. That it wasn't perfect, but there are things that will make it a step forward. So I'm really looking forward to it. Like the clickbait work. Like I'm interested. No, but it's kind of cool. So I don't know how we were timed actually, but this was amazing. Like I absolutely enjoyed today to learn from you, like all the cool stuff that is happening in the Vite community, what we can expect in the ViteConf. So make sure you join us. You join Storyblok. You join Stackblitz into the ViteConf this year. It's gonna be amazing.
It is, yeah. Thanks a lot for the invite. It's really like it was a great talk. I don't know if we did that much code, but there was a lot to chill about, let's say, and to like enjoy about like the ecosystem in general.
It was a totally pleasure to have you here. Me personally as well. Like I have learned a lot from you, so I'm really happy that you joined today with us in the stream. We're looking forward for next stuff in the Vite ecosystem. And thank you very much, Patak, for joining. Let's keep it up with the invites in Twitter. If you have any comments, any questions, you want to say hi, please share it in Twitter. We are going to be there. So thank you very much.
Thanks a lot, Alvaro, and everybody that joined.